Welcome back to the regular podcast. It's anything but. Today, it's the boys again, and we're going to be doing our review of Thor Love and Thunder, which came out on July 8th. So, first thoughts for the movie. I thought it was aight.
I thought
It
it was
was
That
it
it was
was it was
I
there.
I think it
I
continues the trend of the Phase 4 movies being alright, mid to alright. So far, there's been a few really big amazings in Phase 4, and fortunately, Love and Thunder was not one of them. But we can say that when we get to the negatives. Right now, let's just talk about what we liked about the movie.
well, first off, I didn't say my initial thoughts yet. I thought it was mid. Yeah,
That's what I said.
but that's
Say
about it.
the
All
negatives.
right, so no one
Thought it was
cares.
mid.
So for the things that I liked, I love the color palette. It was very vibrant and colorful. The fight scenes were cool. The cinematography, especially in that black and white scene, was just oh my god, it was great. They did a lot of things right here. Like the humor was there. I heard people laughing in the theater. Maybe one or two jokes got me, but I don't usually laugh at stuff anyway. Um, I just think that Gore, amazing, absolutely amazing. I mean, he didn't really have too much screen time because this was like not even 2 hours long, but dude, he just did amazing, amazing acting.
You
Uh,
touched on like a lot of stuff, but basically,
pardon?
I agree with most of it. I agree with
Oh,
most of it.
sorry.
Like I said, I'm glad that they kept that same vibrant color palette from Ragnarok. And one thing I was worried going into the movie was I was worried that they were gonna drop a lot of that feeling from Ragnarok. But no, they really do. Taika does continue his that sort of Ragnarok theme, where it's very funny, upbeat, and kind of cyberpunky. The colors in this movie are amazing, and I really love the music in this movie. I do think Thor Ragnarok had like a better original score, but I think this movie uses a lot of its licensed songs from Guns N' Roses very good, and
Oh yeah,
it's really good. I love the
the
sound.
soundtrack was absolutely superb. I
And
love 80s
Gore
rock.
he was interesting. To be honest, I feel like I have a lot to talk about Gore when I get to the negatives. But one thing I do want to say was a big thing, and I took a mental note of this in theater, was the movie was very funny. Like I feel like this movie got me with a lot of its humor more than Ragnarok did, and
Maybe
I
you.
love the whole gimmick of like Stormbreaker being the jealous like girlfriend whenever he's trying to like hang out with Mjolnir and just see like what's going on. Then it always just slowly comes into frame. A lot of that stuff really hit me, and it just had me laughing. And it was all
Uh,
around just a very fun movie. I love seeing Dad Thor at the end, which is not something I expected. I don't think anyone really expected a father like Thor, but I feel like the movie really
Hmm.
executed in characterizing Thor with bringing
Hmm.
back Jane, his old love interest. And it was I just feel like I really love Thor in this movie.
Hmm.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, there's a lot of things that y'all touched on that I kind of have a little bit of negatives about, but I mean, I'm glad the fact that they brought back Jane. This is the best that we've seen Jane in the Thor franchise.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel like the chemistry between her and Thor in this movie was the best out of the franchise, and I love the first Thor movie. I also love the fact that like y'all said, they keep the same color, they keep the same vibrancy, to keep the comedy and stuff. Matter of fact, they upped the comedy to like 100 in this film. But one of the things that I really did love was that shadow fight, that shadow realm fight scene
Dude,
where it's all black and white. That was incredible. And
that
then
was
like how
just
if Thor uses his powers and it lights up like his body and you can kind of see more of the color. I was
yes.
like, bro, the color distortion inside of this scene is amazing. And also, I just love seeing the Guardians of the Galaxy again. They're not in the movie that much, but it's kind of like misadvertising. But I really like the fact that we got to see them again because I just really love the Guardians. And I think overall, oh yeah, the romance with the love triangle between Mjolnir, Stormbreaker, and Thor, I thought that was pretty good. That was handled really good. It was a very funny joke, but also I really like the montage of just Jane and Thor living together.
Dude, that
That
was great.
that was great, man. I mean, it played like a sitcom. Obviously, it played like something out of an SNL comedy sketch, a parody or whatever. But that probably was my favorite part of the movie, right
Dude,
there.
the chemistry was so good.
Yeah, and then it kind of gives you a little bit of an explanation of, okay, why is Thor a little bit more upbeat, has a little bit more humor in him when it comes to Ragnarok? Oh, well, maybe because his time living on Earth, being around Jane taking him to different things like Halloween parties and stuff like that. Maybe that is what lightened him up and kind of gave him that sense of humor. Just a little explanation. They never really say that in the MCU, but I think that was pretty interesting. Uh, Overall, I think those are really my positives. Just the fact that we got, another Thor movie, and it's entertaining. Let's just say that it's very entertaining. It's very enjoyable. If you like Ragnarok, you would definitely love this one,
One thing I like this
or not.
movie, or kind of like a feeling I had watching the movie, is you like when you're watching this movie, it kind of hits you. It's like this is Thor is like the last Avenger. Like he's like the
You're right.
last one still like doing Avenger things, and I really love seeing this kind of like
Okay.
protector role that he took of Asgard. Like he's not king, like Valkyrie is the king, but it's just I like how it just seems like he cares so much about Asgard in this one. Like he's so quick to just want to go get the kids and give everyone a pep talk. And then at the end, I actually did like how he was like Odin and he spread the powers to the kids. So it's just like seeing Thor but kind of become the all father that Odin was. And it just continues to love. I really just love Thor in this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm.
This Thor was great.
Eh,
Shut
I,
up.
nah. I didn't think Thor was great. I guess that can kind of lead us into our dislikes. Um, I feel like I said all my positives here, but I feel like Thor inside of this movie, they kind of turned him a little bit into a joke. I
I will
know,
agree with
it's
that a little bit.
like I get that. Okay, when
I
it
like
was time to
joke
get
Thor.
serious, Thor got serious, but not to the point where he's doing full splits in the middle of battle, and then it's like he's just joking throughout the entire movie. Every frame, like every 50 seconds of this movie is a joke, and it's not even funny. That's a negative. It's like I didn't laugh. It was like the first 10 minutes of the scene, you see Thor riding Stormbreaker as the Wicked Witch of the West. Like it's not funny. I heard so many people laugh at that joke, and it wasn't hilarious to me at all. But another thing is that, yeah, like I said, it just plays as like a parody. It plays like a Saturday morning cartoon, as like this is the episode where Gore the God Butcher kidnaps all the kids in New Asgard, and now Thor and his new allies have to go save the kids. And it's a PSA about cancer because one of the allies has cancer. So it's like it plays like a Saturday morning cartoon, in my opinion. I I really think that there are other Thor movies that are better than this one. Miles
There's
better than
one.
this one.
There's one Thor movie that is better than
Two.
this one.
The one. The first Thor movie
Two.
is not better than this one. But
Yes, it is.
the the thing
It's
is
not.
that well, that's mainly just subjective, which is fine. That is your opinion. I thought a lot of the jokes landed, but my main negatives of this movie, I have two. One is that the movie was just too short. I mean,
About to
it
say the
still
same
is
thing.
near
Oh,
2
that's a
hours.
positive.
It is near 2 hours. But the thing is, the movie is short and it feels short. Like it's the plot is very surface level. Like there's no real twists and turns or anything. It's just the plot is simple. Gore kidnaps the kids. They go rescue the kids. They follow the story beats along to rescue the kids. There's no diverges. There's not. It's all a very surface level plot. I mean, it's a fine plot. It's just they didn't really make it very complex, and it's just kind of I don't want to say boring plot, but it's just very simple. And so the movie just rushes along from one thing to the next, and it's just the movie feels very rushed in that sense. Like things get resolved like way too shortly, in my opinion. Like they go to the I forgot the name of the city, the God City, and then within 10 minutes they're out of there. Bam, no God Army, but they got the lightning bolt, and then they're already at Gore's planet to kill him. And it just feels very rushed. And then my second big negative is Gore. Gore Gore got hyped up so
Doesn't
much
fit.
from the trailers, and Gore was good. Gore was so good, but the movie was so short, and Gore has like 15 minutes of screen time, maybe. And because of that, Gore just feels like some villain of the week from a TV show.
You're right.
I was expecting
That's it.
going into this movie, coming out of it, being like, all right, Gore's one of the best villains of all time in the MCU. And Gore is good. I like him. Christian Bale, like, he's very menacing but also funny as Gore, and I like the character. But it's so short, and he just feels like a one-off villain, which he probably is. Gore's in this. He does his villainy stuff, and then he gets defeated and he dies. Bam. People aren't gonna remember Gore, and that's just kind of a disappointment.
I feel like Christian Bale's performance is like it's different. It's something different that I've never seen him in before. But in my opinion, I felt like Gore the God Butcher just his it's such a dark character with such a serious role that he doesn't kind of fit inside of this movie, and like that's
They
another
didn't
negative.
show
The
any
tonal
God
issue.
I think
butchering.
that I
Maybe
Like
think
because
that
the movie
this
was too
role,
short, but there just wasn't enough God butchering.
I
There
feel like
they
wasn't
picked
this
the
any.
wrong story.
this
They picked the wrong
role
story.
wasted what Christian Bale could have played elsewhere. He could have played a different character for longer. Like, don't get me wrong, he was superb
Yeah,
as the character and showing him off, but there was so little screen time with him in it. And the character wasn't explored more than his daughter died. He's mad and wants to kill all gods. That's literally all he
exactly.
had. But the way he expressed the emotions of the character and just his demeanor overall was great. But I feel like the character was just kind of a waste to use such an amazing actor on a character that is pretty much redundant
And
as
he's
of the
such
end.
a
The main
great
the main
actor
end
too.
goal the
Well,
main
and
end goal of the film was to introduce love. This honestly, they could have done it a different way. They could have used a different villain and used a different plot and still had love at the end,
well,
introduce her in some way.
Because
But
Gore has
like,
so
what was the
many
point of bringing in
connections.
Gore the God Butcher? Like, he doesn't butcher. I don't see him butcher any gods in this
We didn't.
movie.
We see the aftermath, but we don't. I
Like,
wanted to see him destroy some gods. I
he's a very
expected him to
creepy
go into the
character.
city and just murk everyone.
He's a very creepy character, but he's like, and he's very serious character, very dark character too. Why put him in a movie like this? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like if they wanted to go more serious tone Thor, then it could have worked. They would have had a better story, a better plot, a longer movie. But instead, they went for the more jokey Thor, and then now we have this Saturday morning cartoon plot where they have to go save the kids. Gore the God Butcher, it just doesn't fit that well. Like, if you were only going to introduce love, and then the only way that you could do that was through Gore the God Butcher, why not make Gore the God Butcher a different character? Like, that character could have been anything if y'all wanted to have Thor, if you wanted Thor to adopt a daughter. Like, the character could have been anything, like David said. In my opinion, Gore the God Butcher, I didn't really care for in this movie. If
and
y'all liked him, that's great.
to
But
me, Gore was a good villain who just feels like there's just a whole 40 minutes of footage that just got cut, which would have made him one of the best villains. And Gore has so many ties. Gore is such an important character, and he could be such an important character. He has so many ties to the symbiotes, Beta Ray Bill, Black Knight, and the fact that he's just kind of one-off killed in the end of the movie. It feels like such a waste of Christian Bale, where Gore could have been a recurring villain in other series. It's just so my only problem with Gore is that he was just really wasted. I love what Christian Bale brought to the role, but it's just I feel like we should to see more, and I feel like there is more that's locked away somewhere on the cutting room floor.
I mean, plenty of scenes have been cut with big actors. It's already been confirmed, and that honestly kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like
Well,
there's
he
a whole
said that they
30
had no
minutes,
basis
40
in the
minutes
movie,
missing.
so
Like, but basically half of the film. No, never mind.
look, I don't know like why they chose this plot or this story. Like, why choose this story if you were gonna have the villain be Gore the God Butcher? That's just me though. But also the kids getting Thor's powers. I didn't like that.
I
I
actually
thought it
liked
was
it.
cool.
I actually liked
I
it. I didn't think I
I
would.
thought it was cool. I thought the fight was cool. Seeing those kids with charged up lightning, I thought that looked cool. The reasoning behind it wasn't. Just as
I think he
just
did
the
it
same.
jokingly, to be honest. He didn't actually have any real meaning behind it. He wasn't trying to be like Odin. He just wanted to do something stupid. So he
Well,
did
Yeah,
I
it.
mean,
that's what
he had to
Taika wanted
save
to
the
do. He wanted to
kids.
do
He had to
something
save the
stupid,
kids.
bro.
So
Save the kids by giving them his powers. He could have did that in Infinity War. Could have did it in Endgame.
maybe he wasn't
He could have
strong
did it
enough.
anytime.
because he
Maybe
didn't
he
have the
wasn't gonna.
Odin Force. Y'all remember Thor Ragnarok deleted scene?
Yeah. After Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War and Endgame happened.
Hey, bro. All right, bro.
Yeah,
Think it's stupid?
that's
Whatever.
yeah. You're getting retconned, but that that didn't make any sense. But also the Jane becoming Mighty Thor. I remember turning to you, Jonathan, in the theater, and you were like, "They explained it the best they could," and I was like,
I didn't say
"I
that. I
don't buy
said
it."
it's
You
not.
did
I
say
said
it.
it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was
You
serviceable.
you said that they explained it the best way that they could. That's exactly what you
Honestly,
said,
All right, I don't believe I
I
said that.
and
completely
I
ex-
found it pretty dumb.
I completely expected book, read, go get. That's pretty much what I expected from the beginning, and that's exactly what I got.
I thought her
So I don't
becoming
really have
I
a
mighty.
expected her to I expected her to do some like science stuff, like to make a device that like made her worthy or something like
To
that.
me, going
Luckily,
into
I
the
didn't get
movie,
that.
I had questions. I felt like the movie answered them. I was like, okay, how can she pick Mjolnir? How can she take Mjolnir? And how does
I
she
think it
become
makes
Mighty Thor?
sense.
I feel like the
It,
movie did a good and enough way of explaining how she can take Mjolnir, why Mjolnir's calls to her, and then she doesn't really one up Thor in a lot of. She does save him at the end, which is kind of a pretty big one up, but it's not too bad where I feel like okay, Thor's getting sidelined in his own movie. So
No, it's pretty
I
much a
like
Thor
Mighty Thor.
movie.
I like.
It's
I
pretty.
remember
It's pretty
before
much a
this
Thor
came out,
movie.
you were saying Thor is gonna get jobbed.
I went to the movie expecting to hate Jane as Mighty Thor. I didn't. I actually really liked her. So good job, movie. You won me
Best
over.
Jane has ever been in the franchise. But yeah, no, this is pretty much still Thor's movie. But I those are my negatives, man. Gore, the comedy, the humor, just the overall movie in well, yeah, just overall movie kind of in general. And also the tonal issues. Taika didn't learn anything from Ragnarok.
I feel like this movie
Alrighty,
handled the tone well.
do you
Go ahead.
guys want to talk about the post credit?
No,
No,
no, because the post credit scene was horrible.
Both of them.
they
Well,
were
no,
kind
not
of
both
mid.
of them. The second one was all right.
The
I
second one was,
enjoyed the
yeah, that was
second
good.
one a lot more. The
First post
the
credit
fact that
scene, I don't give a single iota of care about Hercules. I don't care about Hercules. And then the second
the
one, it was okay, but what was the point? She got into Valhalla, Heimdall's there. It's cool, but it feels like fan service.
But no, I mean, bro, I got more excited seeing a cameo character than I did seeing a god, Hercules, and getting teased to see a Hercules versus Thor fight. I got more excited from a cameo, bro, of a dead guy. But I
Honestly,
don't know,
they should have killed Korg so that Taika won't direct any more Thor movies.
bro. Now that's not fair. He had one little slip up. You know, if they make a Thor 5, he
I mean,
can.
it's not horrible. This is decent. This is just Marvel, really. This isn't peak fiction. This isn't ultra mid. It's just like a slap dab 7 out of 10.
That's your conclusion. 7
Maybe
out
a
of 10.
6.9 on a bad day when I'm thinking about how much I hate Marvel's Phase 4, but I'm just gonna give
Right.
it a 7 because I really don't care about this movie as much as I thought I would, but it is what it is. It was decent, and I'm glad I watched it.
Yep. Completely forgot about it in the last 2 days. So yep.
Facts.
I'm giving it a 6.9. Definitely a C plus. Yep.
That's just okay.
Actually, no, 6.8. My bad. 6.8.
I'm giving the movie a 7.5 in the B. It was alright. It was an alright movie. I liked it. Second best Thor movie to me.
But anyway, yeah, that is it for the spoiler review for Thor: Love and Thunder. Comment down below if you have made it this far. What did you think of the film? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I thought it was pretty mid. But anyway, with that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.